Students, in the previous lecture, we have been studying about the bioreactors, the basic principle of how it functions. Okay. Actually, I'll be teaching you even about the various bioreactors and what is the different types of media, crude media being used. So, what is crude media? Crude media is something which is formulated, which contains the various carbon sources, nitrogen sources. So we all know that microorganisms use the nutrients in the form of macroelements and microelements, as all other living organisms use it, right? So carbon source, nitrogen source, sulfur source and all, these all are the macroelements or the major elements. They need to be provided. You cannot provide always a synthetic media. So we need to produce, give a crude media. Industries always prefer a alternative source of cheaper and economically feasible crude media. Okay, so we will be dealing about the topic little later. So today's class we will learn about the media sterilization. Okay, how to sterilize the media. So once you have the media, once a specialist has formulated the media, an experienced media formulation is done. Okay, that media which is formulated, let's say it's a wire industry or citric acid production industry, any alcoholic brewery, etc. Alright, so when we talk about it, every industry has its own crude media. Okay, so the crude media formulation is important. After formulating the crude media, different types of sterilizations have to be involved. Sometimes before mixing, certain times the heat sensitive products will be there, like vitamins, proteins, they have to be sterilized in a different way. Okay, so we will just learn today about the methods of sterilization, the basics of methods of sterilization in the industry. So we classify what is sterilization? Making any material free of microorganisms. Okay, so we have two types of sterilization: batch sterilization and continuous sterilization. We will be discussing about the advantages and disadvantages of these concepts. Okay, so according to the present study, what we will be doing today is about the media sterilization and the various types of media sterilization. I've brought in few pictures for you. Let's go with the study and also some slides. Okay, students, as we are going to continue with the sterilization topic, so we can see that microorganisms can be removed by different methods. Okay, so by mechanical methods, filtration, centrifugation, flotation, the electrostatic methods and all. Okay, so in fermentation industry, it's very mandatory to, of course, when a raw material comes into the industry, they need to be free from microbes before they go for the production, right? So they may be destroyed even by heat, chemicals and electromagnetic waves. Depend on what is the product, raw material. So how many of you have, one second. Okay, so sterilization can be done even by radiations. Okay, X-rays, beta rays, UV rays, ultrasonic radiations and all. So what is going to happen when gamma rays etc. are going to be involved in the sterilization? Okay, so whenever rays are involved, okay, we all know that depends on the type of radiation. UV rays and all is going to be ionizing non-ionizing radiation. X-rays, gamma rays are going to be ionizing radiations. So whenever you use a UV rays, the DNA in the bacteria gets damaged, or any organism as a contaminant, they get damaged. Okay, and whenever you are going to use the gamma rays, X-rays and all, there's going to be ionization of water, right? The water will be ionized. Okay, when the water being ionized, that will actually lead to damage of the DNA. Okay, called as clastogens. Right, so we have different in UV rays. What happens is it brings a thymine dimer, also that's anyway mutation, but when you use a particular ultraviolet rays, they will bring about death of the organism. The DNA is getting destroyed by sterilization, by radiation. Okay, so when you talk about heat as one of the factors for sterilization, okay, the number and types of microorganisms, of course, any radiation or heat sterilization methodologies require the dosage, right? The number and type of microorganisms depends to make the media free from microbes. Okay, the composition of the medium, what type of mixing, crude media mixing will happen, whether it's going to be molasses with concentrica or whether it's going to be whey with concentrica. Okay, the pH value is going to be very important. Size of the suspended particle. The size of the suspended particles also matters a lot during sterilization. Okay, the vegetative cells are rapidly eliminated at relatively low temperatures. Okay, means in a sense a normal heating will kill the cells. Whereas when you talk about the bacillus spores and all, it requires they're mostly heat resistant, isn't it? Boiling can itself remove the microbes. So it means to say low temperatures mean boiling can even eliminate the microbes. Whereas when you talk about endospores of bacillus and all, it is not going to be eliminated so easily, right? It needs a specific temperature and time for the endospores to be destroyed. Especially the Bacillus stearothermophilus is one of the most heat resistant the spores, okay, endospores. Therefore, there's need for testing whether the particular spores are absent in the media. So we have a lot of procedures to know. I think, as you all know, many a times it has been discussed about using the strips of Bacillus stearothermophilus. So they use it as an indicator organism in the sterilization process. The strip color will change. Based on that, they will decide whether the equipment is or the media is efficient in sterilization or not. Okay, so there are various methods of removing the microbes. Okay, so centrifugation, adsorption to ion exchange, then activated carbon. Okay, whenever you are going to add an ingredient which is like an additive, we can pass it through activated carbon. Carbon will trap all the microbes. Okay, and filtration. When you talk about filtration can be very efficient methodology to remove the microbes. Okay, like any nutrient solutions can be passed through a filter, which is very heat sensitive. The disadvantage of filtration is the certain components of the nutrient solution may be adsorbed on the filter material, and high pressures which we create around up to 5 bars, which might be undesirable for industrial practices. So a lot of each industry has its own procedures being involved. So let us talk about what is meant by batch sterilization. Batch sterilization means the media is going to be sterilized in a fermenter. Okay, let's say the fermenter itself can be used as one of the equipments for sterilization. Approximately, based on the size of the medium and all, they will discuss what should be the appropriate time for the sterilization, because it belongs sometimes gallons of media. When you have gallons of media being sterilized, it's a bit difficult for anyone to, there's a standardization procedure. They have to do a lot of testing, and then they have to decide what should be the time for time and temperature for the particular size of the bioreactors. Because earlier days, bioreactors itself were used as batch sterilizers, and then the media was allowed for cooling, and then fermentation process would start. Okay, not only the mutant media, but also the fittings, the valves, electrodes of the fermenter must be sterilized. That means it says that the fermenter should be initially sterilized with steam, followed by the media, which is going to be sterilized afterwards. Okay, I have just one more picture here related to that. I'll just show you that. So what do you see here is, there is on the left hand side you see that there is a fermenter picture there. Okay, this fermenter picture where you can see the coils running here. Okay, these coils are running very much parallel to the, so you can see that they are running very much parallel to the wall of the bioreactor, isn't it? So the wall of the bioreactor will have this running coils. There you're going to allow it for a high temperature. So in the whatever red the pipe indicates that you're going to pass the hot steam through that, and the media will be exposed to a high temperature and appropriate 121 degrees centigrade, and that based on the size of the bioreactor, they may have to decide the time. Sometimes sterilizations do happen a day. It's a day's process. Okay. But what is the disadvantage of such a bioreactor being sterilized like this? Whenever you sterilize such a bioreactor, imagine what's going to be the status of the bioreactor. Isn't it exposed to a high temperature very often, which is not preferable, because such a system might damage the bioreactor eventually due to exposure of high temperature. Gets worn out. The life of the bioreactor goes down. So there's another technique what you can see in the next picture here. So what do you see in the next picture here? There's a sterilizer cooker, right? So there's a control valve. So these are the agitators, just like a bioreactor only, but it's a cooker, sterilizer, in which the concentrated media is going to be sterilized here, and then it's going to pass through the control, and later on going to be exposed to the allowed into the bioreactor. So when you say you're going to bring it into the bioreactor, I think you can see the full picture now. So when you're allowing it to enter into the bioreactor, that means after the concentrated media enters the bioreactors, you're going to add the diluted sterilized, you're going to dilute the media with sterilized water. That again is a formulation process. So each ingredient, let's say you're going to have a media formulation like corn chip liquor and molasses like that, and then it's to be brought to a mixing with a sterilizer cooker, then it's brought to the bioreactor and diluted with water. So that is a media formulation, and expertise will do it. Okay, I think you got the concept of what is batch sterilization. So we can go with such a mechanism, an alternative mechanism like this, where you can use concentrated media and bring a sterilization, and you are going to save the power by this, and also you are going to save the the heart of the industry, the bioreactor. For a longer time, the life of the bioreactor is going to be extended. So what do you see here? So another method of batch sterilization is injecting the steam into the injecting the nutrient medium into the fermenter mantle or interior coils red sterilization. So here what happens is you're going to inject the steam. So I have a picture for this. Okay, 1 second. So I've got a picture for this. You can see that yeah. So I think this picture is more apt for you to understand this, what I'm trying to say. So this is a steam injector. The crude media is entering the jacket, and then you're going to pass the steam. Okay, the steam is going to enter is going to be injected onto the media, and then after sterilization, it is going to be allowed into the bioreactor. So I think you can replace the jacket with a tray also. Many of times you study about, I think in other chapters you're studying about the solid state fermentation, SSF. Okay, there what they do is they replace the same thing, whatever you are seeing here. This is a tray instead of a jacket. Okay, so a tray will have the medium, that is wheat bran or rice bran. Okay, and then you're going to pass the steam to pass through. So I think you can follow this. Steam is going to be injected on the media. So media will flow, and then if it's a semi-solid media, it won't flow. It will be a tray in which steam is injected, and then it is going to be inoculated later on. But here you're going to see that the steam is injected. The media may be a free flow one, which will pass through the pipe and then enter into the bioreactors. Of course, it might be a stock, and then from there it might enter into the bioreactor. Another option is what you're seeing this side is the filters. So you can allow the media certain components. I'm talking about ingredients. So this filter is whatever is shown here is for wherever you are seeing the filters. For that we can understand this procedure. Okay, yeah. So we can understand that filters can be used as sterilization. Example, lard oils, then silicones, which are heat sensitive, can be passed through the filters. Direct steam injecting method, condensate accumulates in the fermenter and the volume of the liquid increases during the sterilization process. There is of course some amount of demerits. What this third point tells us here is that, very similar to this, it says that in the jacket there can be steam condensation. Okay, when you induce steam into the jacket, so when media is going, of course media will get sterilized, but there can be steam accumulating in the pipes, and that can be added on. Yes, that's a disadvantage we cannot help, but it's a procedure one can follow for as one of the methods of sterilization. So once the proper temperature has reached 20 to 60 minutes are required for actual killing of the microorganisms, and then cooling will take 1 hour. Of course, whenever you go for a sterilization, it will take some half a day or a day's time in industry. Another disadvantage of heat sterilization is heating sterilization cooling phases severely alter the nutrient solutions. In the sense, nutrients are affected. Discoloration in the media can also be seen. Okay, there's something called caramelization and Maillard type of reaction is also said here. Vitamins get destroyed when you bring it to high temperature. Okay, so Maillard type of reaction, I have made one more slide for your convenience just to follow. Okay, see here you can see what is Maillard type of Browning reaction. Maillard type of Browning reaction means sugar and protein gets reacted and it's going to become dark in color. Browning reaction occurs usually in sterilization procedures. So they will try to sterilize sugars separately. That's why you see many of the media preparations, sugars are to be sterilized separately, not allowing protein together. Okay, indicator organisms. What are indicator organisms? It's a bacillus, for example, in the case of sterilization, because it is indicating whether the sterilization is effective or not. Okay. Of course, the last point here is about cane molasses and all. What is whey? Dairy industry is no waste of dairy industry after cheese preparation. Mother liquor is from sugar industry. Beet molasses, sugar beets are used for extracting sugars. Those beet molasses. Corn chip liquor, the corn cabs are boiled for extracting protein, and the remaining water is used as a media, a raw material for other productions and all. Okay, yeah, I'll discuss about this when I come to the media formulations, etc. So we should understand that caramelization is nothing but browning reactions do occur. This slide only tells you about that aspect. So we should discuss and understand whether certain sugars and proteins involve into this mechanism. So what we should sterilize them separately. Okay, vitamins can also get destroyed because here we don't have a specific different monitoring system. So when all the media is added in together and sterilized, so there can be such reactions occurring. What is meant by continuous sterilization? Continuous sterilization means I'll first show you a picture so that you will follow it faster, so that I can explain it to you. So what do you see here? This is a very simple diagram for you to follow. The black one indicates the media is going to pass through that. Okay, and the red one is indicating steam, and the blue one indicates a cold water. Okay, so the media is passing through the black pipe here. So that's a continuous pipe. There's no changes in that. It's not going to be anywhere having dents or blockage. It just keeps moving. Okay, whereas of course this one, and whereas this is the hot steam pipe. Okay, so that is separate. It keeps moving this way. So the media is exposed here to the hot steam. So what is going to happen? Heat exchange occurs here. The main principle is heat exchange. Heat exchange occurs. The steam having 121 degrees centigrade will be given to the media. So media is exposed to high temperature now for a specific period of time, right? And then cooling pipe comes there. That will cool the media. Okay. So there what happens is the heat whatever is present in the media will be going to the cold water. So cold water pipe is coming like this. So it will be allowing heat exchange. So here heat exchange occurs between hot steam to media, and here it occurs from media to cold water. Okay, yeah, that's how the media will get sterilized by continuous methodology, where it can happen more conveniently and there's not going to be any problems. So a similar spiral heat exchangers are shown here, where you have the black one is the media pipe and red one is the pipe which carries the hot steam. Okay, this is an additional picture for you to follow. Okay, what is meant by heat exchanging method process? So the two main disadvantages of batch sterilizations have just led to the concept of continuous sterilization. What's the disadvantage I told you? One is nutrient damage, then high energy consumption, power consumption, and of course bioreactor gets worn out eventually. Okay, all the continuous sterilization is mostly used in many of the industrial scales today. Still some places they are using batch sterilization because of the economy and the space and various other factors in industry. Based on the industry it goes. So to differentiate, batch sterilization occurs at for 30 to 60 minutes at 121 degrees centigrade. Continuous sterilization is normally accomplished at 30 to 120 seconds at 140 degrees centigrade. Continuous sterilization can be done either by steam injection by means of heat exchangers. What we found, steam injection is done by injecting steam into the nutrient solution. The temperature is raised quickly to 140 degrees centigrade and maintained for 30 to 120 degrees centigrade seconds. The condensate is formed, the nutrient solution becomes diluted. That's a thing which can happen. The hot solution is pumped through an expansion valve into a vaporizer, and the condensate is removed via vacuum pumps so that the sterilized nutrient solution has the same concentration after the cooling process has occurred. So the disadvantages can be corrected here. When you pass through vacuum pumps, no, the excess of water which is there can be removed, so that the media will have a specific concentration. When you're using heat exchangers, nutrient solutions in the first heat exchanger is preheated to 90 degrees centigrade to 120 degrees centigrade for 20 to 30 seconds. Second heat exchanger at 140 degrees centigrade. Third heat exchanger is also there, where it's only for few seconds. So when you see here, you can one second. So this temperature is maintained at 20 to 120 degrees centigrade. This temperature is maintained. I'll give you a picture here to understand this first. Okay. So I've got a picture here to explain about this concept. So what is the other methodology other than pipe systems? What you saw here, spiral heat exchangers. Like that, you have a plate heat exchangers. Plate heat exchangers mean the media is passed through this pipe, enters one circular plate. So media is just in one phase of movement, isn't it? And here you can see the hot water pipe is coming, and again it's going to have equally the similar size of the plate of the media. So where the heat exchange occurs. Later on, I've just shown a part of the picture just to understand the water cooling water pipe. Okay, so you can observe that the three plates like this. Okay, one is the hot steam pipe. I can call it plate, hot steam plate, media plate, and cooling plate. So each one has a different extended pipes. Okay, so here just to show, I've given the difference here. So here you can understand the actual picture. Here you can just understand an indicative picture saying that the media will have a separate pipe which is moving. The hot water pipe has a separate one to be moved out, and cooling water pipe has a separate one to move out. As they enter, they leave separately. Okay, there's no connection between the exchangers. That's what I mean to say here. So concept is similar, the principle is similar, wherein you have the heat exchange procedure. So many of the industries have this mechanism of heat exchange technique. The media will get exposure to high temperature, and from there it goes into the cooling water so that the media is cooled. Okay, the cooled media is hence obtained, and that goes for the the fermentation